r/NoSleep. Posted by u/Frost_Jr. If you see an ad for adult hide and seek, start running. Maybe it was a sense of bewildered curiosity, maybe it was the utter disbelief, maybe it was out of sheer boredom. Whatever the case, when I first saw that flyer, I knew I had to see what this was about. The poster was stapled to an old electric pole and immediately caught my eye. Hide and seek meetup was scrawled across the top in crayon, looking for new members 18 plus only. Beneath it was a photo featuring what I assumed was the rest of the group. The picture consisted of a motley crew of 5 beaming faces. College brochures could only dream of this kind of diversity. They all smiled with an off-putting intensity. Still, I knew I had to meet up with these people. I had to know what the hell 18 plus hide and seek was. The flyer didn't include any socials or contact info other than a single phone number, again written in crayon. For more info call Katie. I figured she must have been the one running the show. A second glance at the photo revealed only one female in the group. A short middle-aged Asian woman. I guessed that was Katie. I didn't waste any time calling the number, dialing it up as I started back home towards my apartment. They picked up after only one ring. "Stanley's Pizza, may I take your order?" "Oh, sorry, I think I have the wrong number." The man's tone changed, becoming more irritated. "Let me guess, Katie told you to call us." "Actually, yeah, sort of. Can I talk to her?" "I wish." He scoffed. "You're the 4th person this week calling about Katie and hide and seek. Listen, no one here knows this Katie or anything about her. If you do find her, tell her to stop giving out our number." He hung up the phone. I was actually pretty disappointed at this point. I thought 18 plus hide and seek was nothing more than a prank to irritate the employees of Stanley's Pizza. I got back to my apartment 10 minutes later. My roommate, Sam, and her new boyfriend, Dave, were there. They were making out on the couch while reruns of The Office played. Throughout Sam's revolving door of sexual escapades, Michael Scott was the only constant. "Remind me to order new cushions," I said to announce my presence. Dave sat up and smiled sheepishly. "Hey Liz." Sam just gave me the finger. I obnoxiously plopped myself down between the two and put my arms around each of them. Dave played along uncertainly while Sam rolled her eyes. "We should order dinner," I said. "Anyone up for Stanley's?" While we waited for the pizza guy to arrive, I told Sam and Dave about hide and seek. Sam thought I was absolutely insane for even having called them. She said that at best I'd spend the day with a bunch of creepy swingers, at worst they'd find me in a bag by the river. Dave astutely asked if they were fully clothed in the picture. "Yeah Dave, they had clothes on." Dave seemed visibly saddened by this news. Sam sure knew how to pick 'em. I checked my phone to look at the time. There was a text from an unknown number. "Hi, this is Katie. I heard you were interested in hide and seek. You guys aren't gonna believe this," I said, bolting upright. "That Katie chick got back to me." "What? How'd she get your number?" asked Sam. It was a decent question. "I guess through Stanley's," I said, shrugging my shoulders. "You can't actually go," Sam said, "it's not safe." I ignored her, replying to Katie that I was interested. Katie wasted no time getting back to me. "Great, I just need the first and last name of any participants. Please be aware that all parties involved must be at least 18 years of age." I hadn't thought about it before, but this was perfect. The 3 of us could go hide and seek together. There's safety in numbers, right? Sam seemed appalled by the idea, but Dave was much more open to it. Probably because he thought he could get a 3-way out of it or something, but hey, it was 2 votes to 1, so I wasn't complaining. I gave Katie our names, excited that we were actually going through with this. In return I got a paragraph. "The game begins in 10 minutes. Liz and Sam are hiders. Dave and I will be the seekers. You may not leave the city, or you'll be eliminated. Any hiders within 100 square feet of each other will be eliminated. Anyone who reveals the spot of another will be eliminated. You may not hide in a moving vehicle. Anyone who does will be eliminated. Last person found wins the game and joins our group. The others are eliminated. Any questions?" "What the fuck?" whispered Sam, reading over my shoulder. "You can't leave the city? How does this game even work with such a huge area to cover?" "It's kind of creepy how she keeps saying eliminated," chimed in Dave. Before I could voice any of these concerns to Katie, there was a knock at the door. "That's probably the pizza," said Dave. "I'll get it." He got up and opened the door. Before Dave could open his mouth to speak, the pizza guy smacked him over the head with a glass bottle. Dave crumpled to the floor unconscious. Sam screamed and I just sat there paralyzed with shock. The assailant turned his gaze towards us. He was clearly panicked. His face was bruised and sweaty. His eyes were wide with terror. I recognized the face from the poster. He spoke quickly and sharply. "Listen to me, you both need to start running. Now." There was a brief standoff where nobody spoke. The delivery guy stared at us, and we stared at the delivery guy. Dave didn't, obviously. Dave wasn't able to stare at that moment, though I'm sure he would have if he was conscious. "Alright, listen, I know this is all really sudden," the delivery guy said, dropping what remained of the bottle and putting his hands up cautiously. "You don't have much time. My name is Miguel, and you really do need to start running." I glanced nervously over at Sam, who was still staring bug-eyed. She was moving her right arm slowly behind her back towards her purse. She kept a pocketknife in there for protection. It was quick thinking. I knew I had to keep Miguel distracted so she could conceal it. "What do you want from us, Miguel?" I asked as calmly as I could muster. "You're Liz and Sam, aren't you?" he said, turning to each of us as he spoke. "And that's Dave, right?" He gestured down at Dave's body. "How did you know that?" "Oh, thank God, that makes this a lot easier. There's not much time to explain. We've only got 7 minutes now until the game starts. Katie is going to check this apartment first. I'm gonna need you both to trust me." Sam had managed to slip the knife out of her purse and cup it in her palm. It didn't seem like Miguel noticed. "You just smashed a fucking bottle on Dave's head. Why in the fuck would we listen to you?" Her voice wavered slightly as she spoke. "I did what I thought was best. There were 2 hiders and only 1 seeker, not including Katie. I'm giving you 2 a better chance at surviving. It was a necessary sacrifice, but if you 2 don't start hauling ass, it will have been for nothing. If you think for 1 minute, we'd go anywhere with you. You're out of your goddamn mind," Sam shouted, now with a bit more fervor. She turned towards me for support, but I couldn't return her gaze. "Alright, I'll go with you." I spoke softly to Miguel. I didn't need to look at Sam. I could feel the disbelief radiating off her body. "What the fuck are you talking about, Liz?" I kept my eyes fixed downward as I addressed Sam. "Sam, whatever is going on, it's clear that this twisted game is serious. It only makes sense then that we need to take the instructions deadly serious as well. Alright? Katie said we can't hide in the same place as each other. Someone needs to stay here and take care of Dave. You're his girlfriend, and I'm the one who got us into this whole mess. It's only fair that I go with Miguel. Just to be clear, I don't trust him either, but he has information about this game. It would be foolish to ignore him, and we don't have much time." Sam looked at me with a mix of horror and sadness. She wiped a tear from her eye with her free hand. "You crazy bitch," she finally said. "You better be careful." Sam pulled me in for an embrace and slipped the knife into my hand. She locked eyes with me as she backed away again. "And you better not die." Miguel ran ahead of me, throwing all his weight into any doors standing in our way. I had to sprint at full speed just to keep up with him. "You both should have listened to me." Miguel barked back at me between panting breaths. Not slowing down for me whatsoever. "If she stays there, she's as good as dead." We tore out of the building and started making our way towards Center City. "Yeah, well, between you and Katie, you seem to be the more obvious threat." I panted back at him. For the first time since we left the apartment, Miguel actually turned his head and looked at me. "You've seen Katie?" "Well, not in person. She was on that flyer for the game." "Same as you were?" Miguel shook his head vigorously. "That wasn't Katie. She was just another one of the players. The truth is that no one has ever seen Katie. At least to my knowledge. We have no idea who or what she is." Miguel's phrasing sent a shiver down my spine. "What she is?" I repeated back to him. "Everyone who's played the game before you have met one of 2 fates. They either receive a text from Katie telling them they've won and can join the group, or they're eliminated. None of the eliminated players have ever been seen again. Either Katie has connections to some powerful people, or she's something else entirely. Something other." My heart was really starting to pound now. I worried that maybe I had made the wrong call leaving Sam and Dave behind. "Wait, who are you? How do you know all this?" "I took the job at Stanley's to try and intercept potential recruits to the game. There's some connection between Katie and the pizza place. Every player calls Stanley's asking about Katie. Stanley's has no idea who she is, then later they receive the text. I might not know why she does it, but it at least gives me a heads up when someone is in danger. Like I said before, I was invited to play the game, same as you. Unlike most though, I'm still here. I'm trying my best to protect others from." Miguel stopped mid-sentence. His phone buzzed in tandem with my own. Hide and seek has begun. "Aw fuck, we really need to get moving now," Miguel said, picking up the pace. "Can you at least tell me where we're going?" Miguel completely ignored my question. "Once you're in position, don't talk to anyone, don't move around too much, and try not to make any noises. The game will end after an hour. Katie will send you a message notifying you that you succeeded." The two of us ran in silence for another 10 minutes. Footsteps reverberating off the concrete. I didn't realize I was so out of shape. As I struggled to catch my breath, I thought back to our apartment. I wanted to know desperately what had happened to Dave and Sam. I hated myself for ever reading that cursed flyer. Miguel abruptly came to a stop in front of an ornate iron gate. He pointed to the large house enclosed in the property. It was in a state of clear disrepair. There were several broken windows. Vines were creeping up to the second story. The wooden frame around the door was rotted and completely missing in some places. Weirdest of all were the marble statues scattered around the surrounding property, all depicting angels in various states of despair. "This is as far as I'll go," said Miguel, punching in a code on the device beside the gate. It beeped green and the gate creaked open. "Remember what I said. Find a place inside to hide. Don't talk to anyone. Don't move around. Stay silent." I started to protest, but Miguel smacked me across the face. "We have precious little time. I can't stay near you. There's a key in the light fixture on the porch. Now go." I really didn't have a choice. Miguel blocked me in, and left me no room to run. I clutched the knife in my pocket, briefly contemplating whether I should use it. Instead, I just nodded and passed through the gates. Something in me trusted Miguel. I jogged through the garden and past the statues. The air felt heavy as I stepped up onto the old wooden porch. I reached into the light hanging by the front door and fished around for a key. The cold metal surface was unmistakable. I pulled it out, put it in the lock, and walked inside. I couldn't see anything at first. It was dark and dusty inside the house. Before I could get a sense of my surroundings, I felt another buzz in my pocket. "Dave has been eliminated,"